I understand that there's a need for development. I understand the need for ratables. I believe it's a mistake with the Hilltop property. I believe that 460 townhouses is way too much. Having 1,000 people on our infrastructure would be a mess. We don't have a supermarket here. We have a small town supermarket, and it would be overwhelming to try to get anywhere, to go anywhere, just alone on our police and fire, our teachers. It just is going to be too overwhelming. I would think that a small senior development on the lower parcel on Grove would be something that would be more acceptable. It meets our affordable housing. Even there, that also could be a place for a senior center that maybe the builder would consider donating in that particular space. There's too much wildlife there that has no place to go. It's just too much for a community. And I've talked to so many people that truly would want that to stay a parkland, and it can be. I've asked as of today that the builder does not own the large parcel that they're planning to build the 460 townhouses on. He does not own it at this time. I understand that the planning board, you know, is approving the development there, but I don't see a reason why the council would vote on something that the individual doesn't own. You know, and I'm aware that Verona is going to supply the hookups for the sewer and the water. Oh, there's going to be a pilot program. A pilot program, the word pilot is payment in lieu of taxes. Technically, it's not an abatement, where an abatement would be 95% of the money goes to the township, 5% goes to the county. This is a pilot program, payment in lieu of taxes. Does that mean our taxes are going to go up when there's additional, what, 400, 500 children at the school? Overall, I just don't see this as being feasible, and that is something, the reason why I'm running no to the Hilltop development.
Well, that's a great question. Well, the impact it could have, I guess, is, you know, an impact on services. You know, could have an impact on our schools, and I think those are the two main things. I think is the impact on services, and you know how we support that. Now I know the negotiations have been going on for a long time. This has been tied up in the courts, and I think you know, one of the things that has to be considered is the, you know, where we're going right now, and how much time do we have to really make that decision based on the court decision recently with COA and kind of stripping them of their you know, authority, I'll say. So I believe that right now, I think there's a lot of things on the table, and I know the council has worked hard to negotiate to get some givebacks, some money, a ball field, the firehouse, the South End firehouse, which needs rebuilding, so there's going to be, you know, 2 stories and 2 bays, fixed Blasi field. So I think those are things that they worked hard to negotiate. You know, you can make an argument that, you know, we could do more. You know, again, I've heard that just, again, going out and talking to people. So you hear these different things. So I think at this time you just have to look at what's the best thing we could possibly do for Cedar Grove. Do we keep spending money? You know, it's taxpayer money that, you know, we're fighting with the, you know, through lawyers, litigation, going through the courts. And I think at this point we only have, you know, a limited amount of time now to kind of make a decision. If I was elected, I would want to obviously meet with the council members who have been through this a lot more detail than I have, and you know, maybe have some insight that I'm not aware of either. But, you know, a lot of it's just public information. And again, I think, you know, if I was leaning towards a way to go now, I'd say, like, let's just make a decision what's going to be the best for Cedar Grove. If it ends up, I don't want to see it really go back to that the court makes the decision, because I think they may not consider some of the things that we're considering about services and about the, you know, effect on schools. And, you know, right now there's calls for 70 acres of open space which I think is, you know, reasonable. Again, would I want all open space if we went back 5 years ago, whatever it was? Sure. I mean, I think that would be the best thing, but I don't think we're in that position now to, you know, to kind of undo this whole thing and make it. That's not going to happen. So, again, I think the fear for me is if it goes back to the courts, a judge may look at this and say, look, you have a lot more space, build 800 homes instead of the 460, right? With, you know, a portion of those 1 in 5 being affordable housing. So again, I think right now it's a tough decision, but I think something's coming down the road quickly, and probably maybe even if I get elected before I even get in office. So.